Good morning. It is now February 19th, 2023. Here I am in Southern California in the beautiful city of Temecula, in between LA and San Diego inland. Got Camp Pendleton over there where you see the clouds, about 30 miles to the Pacific Ocean. It's been pretty cold here, down in the 30s. So here is the 2006 Lincoln Town Car Signature Limited. I've got about 23,000 miles on it now. But I still have a problem with this peely, flaky white paint. I guess Ford had problems with some of their white cars, white trucks, especially pickup trucks, where the paint just flakes off. And it's doing it to this one on the roof and mostly on the trunk. I don't know, it's original factory paint, so I've read all kinds of stories where they just didn't prep it right. Because usually when you paint a car, I'm not an expert, but I do a lot of research because on that 300E, I have to do some paint correction on the rear of it. I don't know why, but the rear of it, that car's been repainted, oh gosh, probably 15 years ago by the previous owner. And it has a clear coat issue where the clear coat starts peeling off when it rains. Now on this town car, usually they prime the car, they sand it down, and then they lay down the base coat. They let it flash off for 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and they spray it clear. That's for a two-stage paint. If it's a single stage, that's where the clear coat is inside the paint, so you only spray it once. So I'm not sure if this is a two-stage. I think it's a single stage. But anyway, so I got to work on the trunk again today. Now, last week it got really cold and late afternoon, and there was a hailstorm, and I mean, it sounded like a tornado. I couldn't believe what is that sound? It was just a roaring sound. I go out there and it's just hail, and there's like that much hail up against the windshield and stuff, and I think that's what might have started this paint issue. I'm going to try to fix it. This is the same spot. It's faded to a different color, but you can see it's nasty. It's like the paint did not adhere to the primer. So there was something wrong in their chemical process. If I don't correct it now, you could peel it off the whole thing. I want to try to stop it. I mean, the real solution is to just repaint the whole trunk in a single stage. Might do that one day, but not anytime soon. Too many other projects. And there's another spot up here that's kind of doing the same thing. So today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to sand it back. See, this is the spray paint that I put down. It's sticking. Look at it. See, it's sticking pretty good. Compared to this that just wants to peel off. I think the hail started that, hit it so hard. And I had noticed there was some little cracks in the repair that I did, and I think that let water in. So today I'm just gonna sand it down a little bit, and then I bought some primer, white primer. This time we're gonna try this, because last time when you used this, the white that you spray on, you know, you have to cover that up, but eventually that kind of gray, that I think that's why it got a discoloration and looked a little bit darker, you know, even though I put like four coats on it. I do have the factory paint that I bought. I was thinking maybe the paint is not a good match, but we'll try it with the white primer. They say that light cars use light primer. Never used white. I don't know why it's gray. Maybe it's just easier to see what you're doing. Who knows? Anyways, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I got it sanded. I could probably peel this whole thing off if I wanted to, but I don't want to. So I used some 320 wet and dry. Just sanded all along the edges. This is just a temporary repair until I got time to paint the entire thing. I need a new spray gun, HVLP. I got one at Harbor Freight. I'll do this during the summer, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, just some wet dry sandpaper in a block, 320 grit, so that the primer has a rough surface to adhere to. Oh, and so I got this at Lowe's yesterday, about $6. It's a white primer. I don't know if it's good for cars, but it doesn't mention base coat, clear coat, so, you know. And then this is the automotive touch-up, which is a Lincoln 6640. This was not cheap. This was like $30. And then it's got a gloss clear coat for it. I'll put several coats of that. Well, it's turning into a nightmare. So I had it all sanded down, and just the spray paint was blowing paint off. So I kind of took a razor blade, but still everything just wants to come off. So I'm gluing the old paint so it stops. Let it dry up. It's just primer, and I'll just keep adding coats to it. It'll hopefully strengthen it up. Laying down a few layers of primer, but it makes the old paint peel up at the edges, so that's not good. The thing is fighting me all the way, but I'm just gonna let it dry. I got a blow dryer, speed up the drying. Dries real quick. White primer. Okay, so I let it dry a little bit. Then I used some dry 320 fresh piece and went over these areas. Never gonna be perfect, but I'm just trying to stop it from peeling around the edges where it'll just peel everywhere. So with the primer, and got it underneath the peely areas and pushing it down with my finger, kind of glue it back down. And hey, if it lasts another 6 months, I mean, this repair lasted almost a year or so. Yeah, it's just stuff you got to do with old cars. Feeble attempt to try to seal the edges. So got glazing putty on here. It dries pretty quickly. And then this all wet sand, get as smooth as I can. Primer it one or two more times. Build it up. Right here it's pretty smooth. Here, right here it goes like that. And along here, it was peeling along here. So hopefully that'll stop the carnage. Things you gotta do. So, they predict rain in an hour, 80%. What the hell? They didn't. It's just something that just came up, I guess. Holy smokes. I'm right about right there. Wonderful. I guess I'm not going to be putting any paint down. It's 3 o'clock now. I had to go get lunch and get my wife some stuff at the store, and I come back to this. At least it'll be clear tomorrow. It's okay. Let that primer, hopefully dry. Well, it's now 3:30. And storm coming up from Mexico. So I just wet sanded it the best I could for now. It's pretty smooth. I don't feel any lumps. Maybe right here a little bit of. We'll be able to tell. But boy, that primer should has matched the color of the paint. I don't know. We'll see. Well, tomorrow will be sunny, so hopefully warmer, hopefully. Okay. Well, it's the next morning, nice and sunny. It'll hit about maybe 70 today, around 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Then it gets cloudy again. Never did rain last night. Those guys, I tell you. So, I've got about 3 coats of primer over that spot putty. I sanded this spot putty yesterday afternoon where I left off. This morning I've been putting coat after coat of primer, helping it along with a blow dryer. It's starting to look pretty good and feel pretty good. So now, I believe, let's see, I just don't want to see any of that red spot putty. I can see a little bit of indentation where the paint came off. The paint was pretty thick. So I'll keep putting some more over on this side here, building it up best I can. It's not going to be perfect, but you know what? Things like this bug the crap out of me. Then when I'm done with the primer, I'm going to use 400 dry and lightly sand it, and then I can lay the paint down, several coats of that, help it along with the blow dryer, and then I'll put a clear coat on there. Any overspray around the edges, you'll probably see it, but I should be able to maybe color sand that out just a little bit. All right, so I got two coats on. Of that automotive touch-up paint. And see how the color matches. Looks pretty close. Okay, so I'm done with final clear coat. Never buy that paint from that company again. It just doesn't match. I mean, it's going to protect it and stuff, but it just doesn't match the finish. It's not the same white. Look at that. I don't know if it comes out on camera okay. But, heck, the primer was a closer match. I should have just cleared the primer. Yeah, so I'll color sand this. I might go over it again with a different kind of white, because that's crazy, all that work, you know. And what is the company? On the internet, Automotive Touch-Up, Lincoln. So I have bought this before when I had a old yellow Chevy truck, and it was an exact match. So, oh God, frustrating. So yeah, with the white primer on there, I mean, it should have been a blank slate for that supposedly Lincoln paint to get on there and match, but it just doesn't. So, okay, just experimenting. Since this is off, this is a little yellow, you know. Now this is just a piece of cardboard, white cardboard. That's the primer. And this right here is Rustoleum white. I don't know, I think the Rustoleum white, because that's too dark, what I put down. This is nice. Still wet. That's nice and white. Okay, so I got the Rustoleum down. I got 2 clear coats over it. From a distance, looks okay. Clear coat's still drying up. And this is with the Rustoleum white. I can still see a little bit of a line, but at least it's white, it's not yellow. I'll let it dry and then maybe fog it out just a little bit. See how it goes. Okay, it's about as good as I can get it. From here, you can't even really tell Rustoleum white. Who knew? Not perfect, but you know, there's a line I can see, but it's just a hump because I built the paint up so high, so that will be block sanded. And all this stuff on the windshield, that'll all come off. I'll just get that off with a razor blade and clay bar the thing and all that fun stuff. But it's not too bad, you know. Compared to that other stuff, God. I mean, looks pretty darn good. Okay, so a lesson that I learned today: don't buy from this automotive paint company. And if you have this color car, it's a performance white, and this is the number. I double checked and looked it up several sites, and it's no good. And the Rustoleum white is which one is it? It's this one. It's pure white, protective gloss enamel. God, I could have saved myself. That was like $30 with the clear. You know, I think the paint was like $19.99, and the clear was like another $10 or $11. And jeez. Anyways, Lincoln's been runs real good. I don't drive it all the time. I take turns. I drive this thing for a week, and I'll drive the SL for a week. Then I'll drive this thing for a week. Just keep them all going. I take the van a lot because it's easier to get into tight parking places and shopping centers, where the Lincoln is just so big that, you know, it's hard to see around the corner, you know. So anyways, that's all for now.